Stephen has given this presentation to the EdTech committee already, so he is well versed in it. So thank you, Stephen, for joining us today to show us about these new products. And I think with that, we are welcome to get started. Oh, sorry, I always forget. If you do have any questions, you're welcome to post them in the chat, and we can, or you can keep them from the end when we'll have a little bit of a discussion. So thanks very much, and over to you, Stephen. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Carol, and thank you for everybody that's here on the webinar. And it's a great privilege to be able to present to you some of the solutions that really are key to our portfolio, and some of the new solutions as well that can really give you a little bit of an insight into the kinds of solutions we have from a medical education and health science education perspective. I'm just going to just stop my camera whilst I get my presentation to share that. Just give me a second while I do that. Just busy loading at this stage. There we go. Hope everybody that can see my screen.
Yep, it's working perfectly.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Carol. And again, thank you for everybody for allowing this opportunity to meet with you today. And also, indeed, as mentioned, to share the latest updates with regards to our academic and health science solutions. Elsevier provides comprehensive, innovative, and uniquely positioned solutions to serve both learners and faculty needs. Thus, we connect foundational science concepts to clinical scenarios for integration across the curriculum. As mentioned by Carol, you have access to some of our solutions, such as Clinical Key Standard Foundation, as well as assessment, and then some new solutions as well that we have, which is Clinical Key Student Clinical Cases, which I'll give you more insight as we move along. So we have quite a wide range of medical education products, including Key Student, Osmosis, of course, Complete Anatomy. Complete Anatomy is regarded to be the most advanced and comprehensive 3D anatomical representation of the human body in the world, which supports many different specialities, including physiotherapy, nursing, etc., and is truly a phenomenal solution as well. I'm going to be covering, however, today, I'm going to be covering 3 of those main solutions, which is Osmosis, which was on trial before at Wits University. I'm going to be covering Clinical Key Student Clinical Cases, and then Clinical Key AI, which was recently launched in South Africa. So let me start off with Clinical Key AI. I'm very proud to announce that Clinical Key AI has recently won the 2025 MedTech Breakthrough Awards for the 2nd time. This is due to the additional functionalities, expanded content coverage, and continuing education. We've also launched the Generative AI Academy for Health, which is a free resource available to all those at Wits and everybody concerned, which comes at no cost. The Generative AI Academy for Health is designed for healthcare professionals, residents, and decision makers, and students, and faculty who want to enhance their knowledge and skills in generative AI to stay abreast of these developments to ensure they can leverage technology effectively and ethically. Now, I can share the link to this as well so that you can sign up and be part of this as well. And again, this comes at absolutely no cost. As we know, in healthcare, the environment we are in is changing constantly, and the teams may spend an extraordinary amount of time and effort trying to get to the right clinical decision. At the same time, patient conditions are more complex. So when you layer on higher patient loads, there's more pressure on clinicians to know more, creating a higher cognitive load. It takes more time to process and properly investigate everything. Technologies like AI are seen as a way to reduce this load, and are weaving their way into the clinical process flow, as well as utilizing Clinical Key in academia for clinical rotations and clinical reasoning. Clinicians need to quickly uncover answers to complex patient cases. So with Clinical Key AI, clinicians can ask questions the way you would speak to a trusted specialist, getting an answer in a fraction of the time. They can base their decisions on synthesized evidence delivered in a bulleted fashion and backed by citations. Clinicians can account for patient complexity, including multiple comorbidities, and tune responses to their own speciality and preferences. Thus, This is all possible with our intuitive clinical reasoning assistant, which is designed so clinicians can quickly search a comprehensive base of clinical research all from one place. As we know, not all the medical information out there is of the same value. With Clinical Key AI, your clinicians can turn to subspecialists 24/7. They can explore a variety of disease conditions and medication alternatives, basing decisions on proven clinical practice, while investigating emerging treatments from trusted sources. Experienced clinicians can refresh their memory in an instant, and residents can reinforce their knowledge without an attending physician being at their side. This is possible with our comprehensive evidence-based content, which is based on trusted sources, updated daily and vetted by leading experts. With medical information doubling almost every 52 days, having access to this kind of information, which is evidence-based, is needed, most certainly. Elsevier prides itself on our unparalleled peer-reviewed content, extensive data sets, and sophisticated analytics to help researchers, clinicians, and educators discover, advance, and apply trusted knowledge. This has made us a long-standing leader in the field of science, health, and technology, and supports our mission to serve the research and healthcare communities utilizing this information. Not only have we been the leader in scientific publishing for over 140 years, but for more than a decade, Elsevier has been using AI and machine learning technologies responsibly in our products. All of this together, of course, puts Elsevier at an advantage to lead the way in AI. However, we recognize that generative AI presents a new set of challenges that needs to be met responsibly. We understand the importance of accuracy and reliability in healthcare, which is why we involve clinical domain experts in the development and validation of our solutions. To build trust in the reliability and accuracy of Clinical Key AI, we've taken a careful approach to ensure the content delivers evidence-based results with precision. Our platform leverages trusted medical knowledge as the foundation for generating responses. We prioritize high-quality curated content and continuously update our database with the latest relevant evidence-based research. We have a wealth of evidence-based resources serving as the foundation of Clinical Key AI, including Elsevier's proprietary Clinical Key, which you have, of course, access to, the point-of-care content, journal abstracts, as well as full-text articles published by Elsevier and other leading publishers, selected publications, and medical reference texts, as well as mentioned, full-text articles, including the clinic series as well. We're constantly reviewing usage and topic coverage to identify any potential gaps and curate the information with the solution. Clinical Key AI uses state-of-the-art embedding models, turning complex data into simpler numerical forms that capture their meaning and relationships, paving the path for more precise, relevant results. Traditional large language models work like a closed book exam, where answers are generated based on patterns learned from its training data without relevant content to ground it. Some risks from this model include hallucinations, which is false or misleading information formed by AI, and algorithmic bias, which is unfair or discriminatory outcomes based on the decision-making process of machine learning models. Clinical Key AI minimizes hallucinations via its open book exam design, where every question is answered by finding relevant content from a carefully curated library of clinical information. Large language model technology also works behind the scenes to improve the realism of conversations and situations by allowing users to enact natural language queries, saving time and enhancing usability. By combining our best-in-class medical information with cutting-edge AI technology, we're able to generate reliable responses to medical queries. I'm going to go in a little bit of the technology of the platform, and in this particular instance, we use complex RAG a complex RAG system, which is otherwise known as retrieval augmented generation. This system pairs multiple large language models with search engines that retrieve content and documents relevant to the user's question. Relevant portions of those documents are then processed and summarized by large language models into the response a user sees. The AI, or large language model piece of the model, focuses on the generate function, which is where the answers are created. Answers only use information we've indexed in the system to generate a response in a conversational format. Thus, the RAG architecture enables a more intuitive and natural search experience grounded in trusted content. The RAG AI system employed in Clinical Key AI is an advanced AI model that combines the capabilities of both retrieval-based and generative AI models. It is designed to enhance the performance of question answering systems. So retrieval-based models like large language models with large-scale retrieval rely on pre-existing text passages to find relevant answers to questions, for example, like Google search. These models excel at providing accurate and factually correct responses. However, they may struggle with generating creative or contextually rich answers. On the other hand, generative models like GPT have the ability to generate text from scratch. Like ChatGPT, they can produce creative and contextually rich answers, but they may be prone to generating incorrect or nonsensical responses. A RAG AI system combines the strength of both approaches. It first retrieves the relevant information from a large knowledge base using a retrieval-based model. Then it employs a generative model to refine and generate a well-formed answer based on the retrieval information. This hybrid approach enables RAG AI systems, like Clinical Key AI, to provide accurate and comprehensive answers while incorporating the benefits of generative models. Thus, with Clinical Key AI, we also add in a vector search component. By using vector search, Clinical Key AI can perform more efficient and accurate retrieval of relevant information. So instead of relying solely on keyword matching or exact text matching, vector search enables the system to identify text passages that are semantically similar to the clinician's query. When a clinician poses a question, the system uses vector search to find the most relevant passages from our trusted knowledge base. These passages can then be used as input to the generative model to produce a well-formed and contextually appropriate answer. Elsevier's responsible AI principles are at the core of everything we do. With these principles as our foundation, we strive to harness the full potential of AI and deliver reliable, accurate, and actionable insights to empower clinicians in making optimal decisions and delivering high-quality patient care, as well as supporting academia. At the end of this presentation, if we have some time, I'd like to show you exactly how the Clinical Key AI looks like and how it can be utilized. Moving ahead, I would like to showcase osmosis. Osmosis has been used in many institutions currently in South Africa with an immense amount of success at this stage. We did an interesting research study in 2021 where we wanted to understand where educators and students struggle with most. Which areas do they struggle with most? And we found very interestingly, from a faculty perspective, that 92% were struggling to creating learning materials. 76% were struggling to engaging students, and about 68% were uncertain how students are progressing. And I don't mean their progress after a major exam, but how are they progressing on a daily, weekly, or even monthly basis? From a student perspective, they themselves, 64% were uncertain of their progress, their own personal progress, that is. They also found that 63% didn't get enough support and about 46% didn't receive enough learning materials. We utilize this information as it's important to us to ensure that our solutions indeed address these areas where we know the students and educators struggle with. Learning medicine or any complex biomedical health profession is like drinking water from a fire hose. You're supposed to consume a lot of complex, critical material over a relatively short amount of time. But as often as not, and this is true for students everywhere, there is simply too much to learn and to absorb. And so students get completely overwhelmed by the experience. We have students as well, maybe that's starting their academic journey, that are perhaps in a lecture, they're starting their first year, and if they didn't perhaps understand something, the only option to really get to grips with the information is to raise their hand and to be able to ask certain questions. However, a lot of students, as we know, I'm one of them, that perhaps you in your lecture and you're too shy to even raise your hand, or perhaps you don't want to be picked upon. So what is the recourse in those particular scenarios? Well, osmosis can help by providing certain amount of information that can assist this process. Osmosis is a longitudinal curricular support tool built using evidence-based multimedia and learning practices to amplify and clarify what students are learning in the classroom. Osmosis videos are popular with students because they introduce concepts in a way that is fun and approachable. Everything we do is based on learning science, from the delivery and presentation of the content through chunking and using of multimedia design principles to ensure retention and building of knowledge through things that we call such as spaced repetition, with flashcards and high order learning through our multiple choice questions that are available. We've seen in South Africa that students love utilizing the multiple choice questions and flashcards as they prepare for the exams. In fact, one particular institution in South Africa, where they've had about a 36% failure rate in anatomy, has improved that to 16% through the use of osmosis. Osmosis videos are there to ensure that we utilize all the various areas, as mentioned, around content chunking and design, utilizing certain information to ensure that we bring the information to the student that is easily understandable and reduces cognitive load. So from a student perspective, we provide chunked, sticky content that allows the student to understand the information through visual that can be really engaging, and as well as multiple mediums and tools for diverse learners. Very easy to utilize, very much like YouTube almost. We provide integrated quizzing in ensuring that the students can prepare for the exams, but also analytics so they understand their progress, where they perhaps need to focus on, and that will assist them on their academic journey. From a faculty perspective, faculty is able to share expert content. In fact, many institutions currently, faculty is sharing these videos prior to the lecture so that the students understand the complex information that they need to understand, and that perhaps the discussion during the lecture then takes on a different direction because they already understand this complex terminology. This saves the educator an immense amount of time. We also have seen faculty play these videos during a lecture, which helps to engage students as well. Faculty can also use this information to train clinicians and also build their own course content. In fact, we have a team available that can match the videos that are available in Osmosis to your curriculum. You're also able to monitor student performance. Now, this is important when you're trying to catch those at-risk students. You'll be able to see their performance and videos they're watching, how they're interacting with the questions, their confidence levels. It truly is a phenomenal platform from that perspective. And that will help you to really assist students during their academic journey. Osmosis is designed to work with your course content, not replace it. So Osmosis plugs into your existing classroom model to provide curriculum support that amplifies and clarifies what students learn in class with time delivery of illustrated videos, questions and answers, flashcard content, and more, and to align what's happening in class with what students need to work. If you're looking to introduce a more blended learning or flipped classrooms, Osmosis videos can be assigned to prime students for classroom activities. Thus, admin dashboards provides insights that let you know what your students are learning, and to help identify at-risk students, as mentioned. And like other products out there, your Osmosis includes both foundational and clinical medicine content, helping you to connect learning across the curriculum continuum. As you can see, we have Osmosis for Medicine, which provides access to all the foundational sciences, be that genetics, histology, pathology, etc. Also, it gives you videos on all the various organ systems, and then even information with regards to clinical rotations and board exam reviews. So you have all that information available to you as well. We also have available clinical key student, no, sorry, Osmosis for nursing rather. And this provides you with access to the full nursing courses, all the nursing concepts, the nursing series, and of course, access to all the nursing and essential sciences as well. Very interestingly, we've seen students engage with Osmosis significantly across the institutions in South Africa. And in fact, currently, Osmosis content has an 83.6 average video completion rate. So once a user has watched 5 videos, their likelihood of watching a 6 is 90%, which is phenomenal. So we really see that students love to engage with the platform. Moving ahead, and this is the last platform that I want to provide you with some insight on, is what we call Clinical Key Student Clinical Cases. So what is clinical cases? So clinical cases provides real-life patient scenarios driven by clinical data, supported by real-time expert feedback. So unlike traditional clinical education software, the cases are short, engaging, and expansive enough to cover a wide variety of educational settings. It offers students a safe environment to make clinical decisions and learn from mistakes without risk to patient safety. The interactive cases cover all core clerkships and are designed to help students synthesize preclinical knowledge to improve the clinical decision making. So very much used for clinical reasoning. We have also improved the user interface now, and as well as many other improvements to the platform. So when making clinical decisions, searching through and summarizing your response is now faster and even better. We've added search and a summary of your answers so that you never accidentally miss or select the wrong option. It's also available in a wide variety of cases, and we're continuously adding to this as well. So how does it benefit faculty, of course? Well, it offers a teaching alternative and gives students exposure to those patient cases. Faculties can review students' individual progress and assist those at-risk students. You're able to also establish your own benchmarks, enabling comparison between students and across specialties in a real-time basis, and also reveal how students develop their own clinical reasoning skills. And again, as we see in South Africa, that clinical reasoning is brought a lot early into the curriculum now, and this platform indeed can support with that. So how does it benefit students? Well, Elsevier solutions in the pre-briefing phase of simulation labs can transform the educational experience for health science students, ensuring students are well equipped to thrive in both simulated and real clinical settings. Simulation labs are essential, as you know, for preparing health science students for real clinical experiences. So every experience begins with a pre-briefing, which sets the stage, outlines objectives, and ensures students are prepared for the learning experience. Students then work through a simulated clinical scenario and debrief again with the instructors afterwards. Elsevier solutions rather are particularly helpful when utilized in the pre-briefing stage. Provides clinical cases and interactive modules for background knowledge and context prior to entering the simulation environment. The simulation faculty can use Elsevier solutions to create structured pre-briefing, guiding the students from theoretical knowledge to practical application. This fosters confidence, leading to a better learning outcome and readiness for real clinical settings. So Elsevier is the only provider that brings together content for every style of learning to meet students wherever they are in their learning continuum, supporting faculty in teaching and learning throughout the curriculum. With the acquisition of Osmosis in 2022, the launch of Clinical Key Student Clinical Cases in 2023, we can now serve our learners across the curriculum and flex to fit every type of curriculum and learning style, as well as the recent launch of Clinical Key AI in South Africa, which happened in January. Our portfolio of solutions are well positioned to serve the entire medical student journey from day one to in-clinic learning to graduation. And that's it from me. That's the presentation. I'm going to be stop presenting now just to see if there are any questions, and if there's time left, I can then also take you through Clinical Keys AI just to show you a little bit more of that. But I'm going to be stop sharing now in case there are any questions from anybody.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Stephen. So just to reiterate, I noticed that some people joined a bit later. So just to reiterate that the faculty does currently have access to some Elsevier products through the Health Sciences Library. We have access to Clinical Key, which is predominantly aimed at physicians and practicing doctors. So that's where most of you will likely actually access the articles that you access. But that does also have a suite of textbooks within it. We also have Clinical Key Student, as Stephen reminded me. The name includes Foundation, and we do also have a Clinical Key assessment. So if you would like to look at those products that we have access to already, you can do so by contacting the library. The products that Stephen has presented today are new products that are coming out from Elsevier. And just to alert everybody, we do have a process in the faculty whereby if we would like to motivate for us to access these products, then that will go through the faculty EdTech committee. But what we would like to say, as I said, I think I said at the start, sorry, I'm having a jumping day from task to task. We obviously need to know how the products would be used in the faculty. And so Kutwano has just placed a form in the chat at the moment that if you would like to be one of the people who was able to trial these products to check them out in more detail and see what's included, then please do fill in that form, and we will liaise with Stephen to create a access for you as a lecturer to check. I did see a question about do students have access to osmosis at the moment? We have previously had osmosis trials for both students and staff in the faculty, and those, were then considered by the EdTech committee. But if you would like to take a closer look at these products, please do fill in the form, and we can then arrange some access for people. If you do have access, please, we will later on contact you to give us feedback so that the EdTech committee can then take a decision about the resources that we spend money on, to be frankly blunt. Sorry. Stephen, there was another question in the chat about differences between Clinical Key AI and Scopus AI. I'm not sure if you'd like to just give some more information on that.
I will most certainly. Thank you, Carol. And yes, when it comes to osmosis, we've had some really phenomenal trials at Wits where the students love utilizing the platform. The feedback that we received and usage was phenomenal. In fact, I believe that even the students had filled in a petition to send through that they would like osmosis. But of course, this needs to be decided by Wits. And of course, we are here to support that whole entire process. Where we've currently have seen this work really well in the institutions in South Africa, it really has been phenomenal. So we would like to obviously extend that to Wits naturally, to the benefit of all concerned students and faculty. Naturally, same goes with Clinical Key Student Clinical Cases. It's a phenomenal platform when we're looking at clinical reasoning. And when we're looking at Clinical Key AI, similarly, it can be used for that clinical reasoning perspective. It is most certainly very different to Scopus AI. Scopus AI is more research focused. Clinical Key AI is a little bit different. And in fact, what I would like to do, since we have a little bit of time left, if possible, is maybe spend a few minutes to show you what that looks like, if I may.
I think that would be great. Thank you. I will keep an eye on the chat if there are any other questions. I see that Lillian responded to the question about osmosis and dentistry content. Elaine, if you're interested, can I suggest that you fill in the form and then we can see if we can give you some access to osmosis so that you can see what is there related to dentistry as well. Okay, great.
For some reason, when I'm trying to share, it doesn't allow me again. I don't know why. Very strange.
Kutvana, can you just check if the presenter option
That's
is
interesting.
working for Stephen?
Look,
Do
this
we need
doesn't
to,
allow me.
we might need to click a button and save it again. Kutvana or Colafelo?
Clicking on it just does nothing on my side. That's very strange.
Okay, they're trying to get you back in.
Please
Thank
check
you so
now.
much. Let me try. This doesn't allow me to share my screen. That's very, very weird. Tech is working against me again, Carol, it seems. It's when I click it, nothing happens. The share functionality, that's very weird. Maybe if I log out and log back in again, maybe that'll help. But at this stage, it doesn't allow me to. Let's try that quickly.
Okay, we'll
I'll
wait for you to come back in to show. Nazir, thank you. I do see your content about osmosis for microbiology. So I think we can certainly have that chat, and if you can feed back the information to the EdTech committee who will be making the decision. I think one of the important questions is how do the products that we have relate to new products as well. So there we go. There we go, Stephen.
Yay! It works. Fantastic. So this is how Clinical Key AI looks like. And again, this is utilized to provide you with answers to any question or clinical question that you may have. So what you see initially is you would see, you can ask any question. We are busy working and finalizing the ask button that you see here. When you click on that, you will be able to speak to the platform. So again, this is very useful when you're doing clinical rounds, when you are, consulting with patients, for example, or even want to test your own clinical reasoning. This is available via an app as well, so you are able to access this on your phone or any device as such. So I'm going to go and just ask any particular question. So I've got a question that I'd like to ask. So I'm going to say, what are the current, and I'm going to make spelling mistakes on purpose, because what it does, it will guide me as I'm moving along. I can even make abbreviations. It will understand those abbreviations. Type 2, and I'm making all these mistakes. Diabetes. With chronic kidney disease. So I have a question, and I ask the question. It will then analyze my query, and I mentioned as utilizes unique technology in able to provide this information very, very accurately and very, very quickly. As you can see, what it will do first, it will provide back what I have, or what the question that I posed, to make sure that it indeed is what the question I wanted to ask. It has corrected the typing errors as well. What it'll do is it'll provide me with the response with all the guidelines. And again, this is very, very useful for clinicians to get to the respective information and use their own reasoning when utilizing this information. So it provides you with a full answer. If then I can also click on additional information, which provides me with a little bit more context and an additional information that is needed based on the question that I've posed. What makes it unique, again, as mentioned, that it utilizes evidence-based information. It utilizes all the information within Clinical Key, as well as a host of other additional content, as mentioned in my presentation, that it's utilizing. When I scroll further down, it also provides with all the references. In other words, it provides me with where it found the respective content. And again, this is all evidence-based. I can go into the details of it by clicking down arrow on the details, and it'll give me all the key points as related to my particular question and the search results and the references related to that. I can click on the details of every one of these, or I can go directly into any one of the. Say, if I'm going to clicking on chronic disease stage 1, for example, it will take me to Clinical Key Physician. So if I want more information, it will then give me the relevant information. It's just busy logging me into Clinical Key Physician. It will also, do the same for yourselves. Since you have access to Clinical Key, it will then bring up the platform. Just give me a second while it loads. And there it will bring up Clinical Key with all the reference that I clicked on, and it brings me straight to the needed information so that I can deepen my knowledge should I wish. This is the clinical overview, as you can see, which gives me a summary of the ailment. It'll gives me all the treatment functions, the follow-up information. It brings me all the relevant information that I would need with regard to this particular ailment or based on my search result. So this I can then utilize to go into a lot more detail. On that note, I just would like to mention that we've had an unfortunate tech error, a global tech error with Clinical Key. So those who maybe have struggled to access 1 or 2 books via Clinical Key or some of the information, there's an issue at this moment which is being rectified, I think hopefully today or tomorrow, just to make you aware of that at the moment, which is a rare occurrence, but unfortunately we are just trying to ensure that we get everything back up to speed as soon as possible. So going back, as mentioned, you have all the references that you see here. I can then scroll further down and then ask a follow-up question. So perhaps maybe I've seen the patient or dealing with a particular case. I want to have a follow-up question. I can ask any follow-up question based on my initial question that I posed. It will also provide me with follow-up suggestions of follow-up questions. I'm just going to click on any one of these so that you can see that. How does, I'll choose this one, where does smoking cessation impact glycemic control and renal function in diabetic CKD patients? If I click on that, it will then provide me with the relevant information. And again, I can ask further additional questions or follow-up questions should I wish. There again, it brings me all the needed information that a clinician or anybody can utilize and to ensure that you get the needed information. And as you can see, it is very different to Scopus AI. Scopus is a lot broader in terms of what it provides. This is more related to, getting answers to your clinical questions, used for clinical reasoning, etc., etc. So when I scroll further down, again, as mentioned, you have all the follow-up questions. But on the left-hand side, what you have is that it provides you with the history of all your conversations or questions that you pose, rather. So in other words, if you're seeing a patient and tomorrow you're seeing the patient again, and maybe the patient has had a CT scan or whatever the case may be, and there are certain results or maybe blood work that was done, those then you can ask follow-up questions based on those results. In other words, whatever the results are, you can say, well, I've had this kind of a result. What are the suggested perhaps drugs that I need to provide, or shall I say suggest to the client to take, etc., or the patient rather. These are all the kinds of additional questions you can pose or you can propose and post to the platform rather, and to get to perhaps more insight in terms of how to treat this patient. With medical information doubling almost 52 days, it goes without saying having access to the most relevant information that is utilized in terms of providing the context to your questions is of extreme value. Doctors spend a lot of time, trying to get to answers to some questions, maybe having not access to the latest evidence-based information. You are able to, in a conversational style approach, ask these questions, to the platform that can assist in your clinical reasoning. So again, this is not only for the point of care, but can be utilized for any clinical reasoning by any students or faculty as such. When you click right on the top, this is typically how it looks like. And if you go to the top, the help function, you'll be able to get a product tour, which will indicate all the information that is being utilized, or the references and content that Clinical Key AI utilizes. It'll provide me with all the latest updates. We update this on a regular basis to include new content, new specialities, which really helps assist, all the relevant, all of those concerned in the various specialities. I can also earn CME points as well. And again, you can convert these CME points to CBD points as well. So you have access to all of that. So you can access all that relevant information with regards to that and your history as well. And that is Clinical Key AI in a nutshell, just to provide you with, insight in terms of how this can be of great value to all those concerned that are doing clinical rounds, and of course, in your clinical reasoning perspective as well. And that just gives you, hopefully provides you with a little bit more insight. I'm going to stop sharing now in case there are any more questions.
Thanks, Stephen. Thank you for the overview of the platform.
I see some comments from those with regards to osmosis. I'm really glad.
Yeah, happy that they like osmosis. So,
Indeed.
yes, if you do want to give your feedback on the products, as I said, please fill in the form so we can give you access. Even if you don't use the access, then you can still give us feedback at the end around your checking out the platform in the past. Stephen, can I maybe just check, has osmosis been further developed since the last time that we looked and had the trial?
The platform is the same. We just we add a lot of videos to it. Maybe I can share my screen. I can just show it to you. Let me just get it up.
Okay, so there are some more resources there.
We add videos all the time, to be very, very
Okay.
honest. So again, there are, let me just sign in quickly. Yes, there are new videos that are released all the time. And of course, there is support around that. Just to go back quickly to Clinical Key AI, again, as mentioned, we have a Generative AI Academy available. So all of those that would like to learn more and understand how to use AI on a daily basis, this is free of charge to everybody. I will send the link maybe through yourself, Carol, for and Shira as well for distribution. And again, this is a free resource that we provided, allowing you to know how to use AI, because there's so much AI out there. People get bombarded rather with chat GPT and all of these various instances. So to get a deeper understanding of how AI can assist, and then there are different formats of it, and the pitfalls of some of them would be, I think, of major value. So again, this is a free resource that I can provide.
Great, so, thanks. I think
pleasure.
That would be great if you can send that through, Stephen, then we can circulate it through to the faculty
by all means,
broader
by all means.
Than this webinar as well. Yeah.
All right, cool. Let me just share my screen on osmosis. I hope you all can see that.
Yeah, it's looking good.
All right, so again, there are some videos that are available from an osmosis perspective on YouTube. But they are just the videos. This is the full platform itself, which is very, very different to just those videos. And again, they are very limited what's on YouTube, but that has obviously grasped the interest of many students who already know of osmosis. In fact, every institution we've been to, almost everybody knows of osmosis. But this is the full platform that provides access to all the relevant specialities, etc. This is osmosis for medicine, firstly. So if I look at all the topics, you can see that I can access all the foundational sciences, as mentioned, be it physiology, pathology, etc. It also then provides you with all the videos on all the various organ systems. But as you can see, there is even some new platforms. In other words, there is information, new ones on, let me go back. Sorry about that. Clicked too fast. There are new information or content with regards to emergency medicine, family medicine, neurology. There's even psychiatry as well. So as you can see, it supports the majority of all the various specialities and all the relevant information. Also, what I like about osmosis is that it really helps those who are visual learners. So when you click on a video, it really helps with them. And it's designed in a particular manner to ensure that you reduce cognitive load. So it's very easy to understand and you remember it. So also when you retrieve the information, what I very much like as well, whilst you watch a video, as you can see, there's some recommended videos, and some of you already know this. You can click on any one of these videos. It'll give you the relevant information. But also what is nice is that it also provides you with the ability to be able to have a set of questions, or most of the time questions after the video, to ensure that you have understood the information that is being imparted by the video. In addition, you also have access to the question bank. Now, this is what the students love in terms of preparing for the exam. So I'm just going to just quickly show you this. Now that we've got a few minutes left, and I can decide between preclinical and clinical questions. So let's go preclinical for a minute. And I can then decide on any speciality or any area that I wish to maybe deepen my knowledge. Let's go anatomy. And I can decide, you can see there are 340 questions available. I can decide on the quiz size. I'm just going to go 10. And then I can begin my quiz. Now, of course, I'm not an anatomist, so, so I won't know these answers, but I'm going to guess. So I'm going to go say start. And what you can do here, it provides you with a certain situation and even with a picture. And then it asks you to choose an option based on that question that it has posed. Now, I can then decide on any one of these. And I'm going to just choose one. I'm just guessing. I'm going to choose this one. And I'm going to say, well, I have to rate my confidence. In other words, am I just guessing? Do I perhaps know the answer, or I'm very confident that I know this answer? So I'm going to go, I'm just guessing. I'm going to go low, and look at that. I actually got it right. So what it does is it actually tells me the explanation, and I can go on the right-hand side here where it'll give me the full explanation, the major takeaways, why this was the right answer. It does that very similarly when I go to the next one, and I'm going to choose one again. Here it provides you with the question, or the question it's posing, and I'm just going to choose any one again, and I'm going to say low, and again I'm going to write, guess it's my lucky day. Let's go the next one, and I'm just going to choose one again just to show you when I get a wrong answer. There we go. So I got a wrong answer. As you can see, this was the question. And what you'll do is it will tell me why this was incorrect, as well as what the right answer is at the bottom. And then it provides me with all the major takeaways, explanations, and even if there's a video associated with that, it will provide that as well. So this is really helpful for students that are preparing for exams. And again, we've seen some phenomenal success in this across the board. So if I'm also, what I can do as well is I can look at admin analytics. Now I'm just going to go into this quickly, because by rating the confidence of my answers, I'm able to catch those at-risk students that perhaps don't know. So I can also view perhaps what you can see here. I can see the videos they're watching, what kinds of videos they're watching. I can view this by learner as well. I can export this document. I'm also able to look at the questions that they're looking at and actually answering and choosing. Here you can see the accuracy of my answers, whether it's correct or incorrect. I can also see the confidence level of those, of my answers. In other words, when I've indicated that the confidence was low, medium, or high, this indicates the confidence level when answering that question. It also provides me the time taken to answer the question. This is also very useful when you're looking at creating your own exams or questions for exams or tests rather, because then you'll know how long it will take to answer certain questions. It does so very much for all the flashcards that are available, which there are thousands of them as well, which we students love utilizing. So there again, it'll provide you the accuracy, the confidence level, and time taken to answer that. This is just a little bit of an introduction into this. And of course, I can go into quite a bit of detail, but this should give you a little bit of an idea of how the platform works in a very brief manner. And yeah, and how students can utilize it, of course, during their academic journey, and as well to ensure that they understand the information. I think we all want those students that once they enter their professional career, that they actually know and understand the information before they treat you. So again, this will really help to deepen their knowledge, of course. Naturally as well, you have access to all the videos as mentioned and all the relevant information, and faculty can utilize this to share these videos prior to a lecture. As mentioned, we also have a team available that can match these videos to the curriculum or to the course you are doing. So we fully support that whole entire process as well. And of course, we've seen faculty love utilizing this and playing these videos during a lecture as well. And I'm going to stop sharing there. I hope that provides you with a little bit more insight into osmosis as well.
Thanks, Stephen. I think it gives a good overview of the platform for people to start exploring it.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Yes. Oh, sorry. I'm just trying to. My next meeting has just popped up. Cool. Thanks, Lillian. So Lillian has also posted in the chat about how students were watching the videos. This was primarily aimed at the medical students, if I remember correctly. It wasn't necessarily a full faculty trial. So I'll just reiterate again, if you are interested in any of the platforms, Osmosis, Clinical Key AI, or the cases, student cases, please do fill in the Microsoft form that Kutluano posted at 12:28, and then we will liaise with Stephen to get you access so that you can look at the form and provide feedback to the EdTech committee as they look at the resources that we have available. So I'm not sure if there's any other questions for Stephen or for Lillian. I did see that we've kind of covered everything. And Humera, great. I'm glad that you clarified as to the different products.
Thank you.
Cool. So I think I'll say thank you so much to Stephen for the presentation and for taking us through those platforms. I think it's very exciting, the places that educational technology is going. And as we know from CHSE, Elsevier is definitely the leader in innovation. So it's great to have a relationship and a working relationship with you guys.
Thank you.
And thank you to Lillian for supporting us in the chat. And thank you to all of you for attending and coming to see the new platforms and products that are available. And if you are wanting to trial them, please do fill in the form and we will get back to you in probably a week or two. Sometimes it takes a little bit of negotiation to get the right number of licenses and the access and the details back and forth. So thank you so much, everybody. And please do look out. Oh, I almost forgot. Please do look out for the next webinar that will be upcoming. Please do also, in June, there will be an advert going out soon for CHSE activities. We will be having a workshop on creating your teaching portfolio on the 17th of June, online, as well as a 3-day Introduction to Health Science Education course from the 10th to the 12th of June. So if you would like to sign up for those activities, please do keep a lookout in your email for the advert, which will go out by the end of the week, and do please sign up. And we look forward to seeing you again at the next webinar, everybody. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Carol. And again, thank you to everybody, to Shira and yourself, for allowing me to present to you today and giving you a lot of more additional insight into our solutions and the new developments, really, especially with regards to AI. I think AI is here to stay. It's really making an impact in our lives on a daily basis. And it's only going to become more impactful as we move along. That's for sure. And of course, we really want to make sure that the AI that we have as incorporated in our solutions indeed provides you with accurate results and allowing you to really support your students as well as yourselves. So again, thank you so much for the opportunity. I really look forward to liaising with you all again and supporting you as we have been with Wits for such a long time. We are here to support and help you in any way. And if you have any additional questions, please do send them through and I'll be happy to assist. And again, also thank you for Lillian for being part of the presentation and the webinar and assisting from that perspective as well. So thank you very much all, and I wish you a phenomenal day further. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great day. Bye.
Thank you, everybody. Keep well. Bye-bye.